Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. The burning question that everyone is having is obviously Francis Ngannou is the new undisputed UFC heavyweight champion of the world, and everyone is wondering, oh, who's next then? Because he clearly knocked out Stipe Miocic, and Miocic is obviously not a match for Francis Ngannou. And we're talking about size, we're talking about power, and he knocked him out cold. Does Miocic want a rematch against someone like Francis Ngannou? I personally don't think so. What does the MMA community think? Does Miocic want a rematch against Francis Ngannou? Probably not. Most people are going to think no. So then what's going to be next for Francis Ngannou? We're talking about heavyweight division, and from my perspective, I see only two possible bouts for the Cameroonian international Francis Ngannou, the new undisputed UFC heavyweight champion of the world, the fight against Derrick Lewis for the heavyweight championship of the world, and a fight against Jon Jones, the former UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, and arguably the greatest mixed martial arts athlete of all time. So it really depends, to be honest. I'm thinking probably a rematch against Derrick Lewis, because after Francis Ngannou lost to Stipe Miocic, he fought Derrick Lewis in probably the most boring fight in UFC history, and he lost by decision. So probably that fight would make sense, to be honest. Both fighters have devastating knockout power. We've seen Derrick Lewis knocked out Alexander Volkov, and he's knocked out a lot of people, to be honest, especially in the heavyweight division. And Francis Ngannou obviously has been knocking out people. He's knocked out Stipe Miocic, he's knocked out Jairzinho Rozenstruik, he's knocked out Cain Velasquez, he's knocked out Junior Dos Santos. So yeah, that's going to be a great fight. So Derrick Lewis, Francis Ngannou is the fight I'm looking forward to. However, if Jon Jones is willing to go to heavyweight, which the vast majority of people think that he's not willing to go to heavyweight to fight Francis Ngannou, then I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. Like, I wouldn't be surprised even Francis wouldn't want to fight Francis himself, if that makes sense. So I don't see Jon Jones going up to heavyweight to choose to fight Francis Ngannou. However, anything is possible, to be honest. So the burning question is Jon Jones scared of Francis Ngannou? I personally don't know, because Jon Jones, again, you might underestimate him, but he is the greatest light heavyweight champion of all time. He's the youngest champion in UFC history. He won the belt at the age of 23 years old when he absolutely beat up former light heavyweight champion of the world in Mauricio Shogun Rua, and then went on to defend the belt against Lyoto Machida, defended the belt against Rashad Evans, Quinton Rampage Jackson, defended the belt against the likes of Alexander Gustafsson, defended the belt against the likes of Glover Teixeira and Daniel Cormier. So he is the greatest light heavyweight champion of all time. But when we're talking about heavyweight now, that's a different division. We've seen Israel Adesanya go up from middleweight to light heavyweight, just to find out that he's actually a lot smaller than the light heavyweight fighters, and the fighters in the light heavyweight division are way bigger than him, Adesanya, and he got beat up by Jan Blachowicz. So yes, that's the problem. Is he going to be too small for heavyweight? Is he going to be too small for Francis Ngannou's presence? Especially today, we've seen in the UFC that the cages are getting substantially smaller, and there's not much room to run around and move. And we've seen that with Stipe, and Stipe, the only thing he probably needed to rely on was his wrestling against Francis, and he tried to take down Francis, which was his biggest hope, and he failed, and Francis even took him down and beat him up. So if I would have been, I mean, from the perspective of an MMA fan, yes, we want to see Jon Jones go up because it's going to make an exciting fight against Francis Ngannou. But again, let's be honest here. If you're a person who cares about Jon Jones' safety, you probably wouldn't want him to go up to heavyweight to face Francis Ngannou in a day and age where MMA cages, especially the UFC cages, are getting smaller and smaller in circumference and area. So yes, okay, Jon Jones, I mean, he's a legend, so he can do anything. But again, Francis Ngannou has just improved quite substantially, and we've seen that materialize in his fight against Stipe Miocic. So ladies and gentlemen, that's a quick analysis of Jon Jones. Is he scared of Francis Ngannou or not, and essentially what's the future of the UFC heavyweight division. Thank you for watching this video. I appreciate it a lot, to be honest, and until next time.